Hey comic book community, Lumbox Love Affair here. I'm going to show you two comic book slabs from CGC today. And these are not just any comic books. These are original art, blank comic book cover sketches by two prominent artists. One historical artist and one modern day amazing guy. Both amazing pieces. So what I should say is I bought one of these cracked. This is a cracked slab. And so I'm hoping I made the right decision. I have to give it another deeper look, but there's a specific reason why I bought this crack slab. So let's get into that particular book. All right, so on eBay, this book came up. And so I'm going to tell you who it is. It's Neal Adams. I bought myself a Neal Adams sketch. I watched this auction for about 6 days, and his sketches, as you can well imagine, have gone through the roof. And I hedged over the years. I had plenty of opportunities to get a Neal Adams sketch. And at that stage in my life, it was too expensive. It was around $500, I think, to get a very basic sketch. And then there was one piece of art that I saw somewhere in social media back in the day, probably Facebook, that he did an amazing Cyclops. Because I loved Neal Adams' X-Men work, and he did this amazing Cyclops cover. Actually, I think it was just a regular sketch, and he added color and everything to it. And I had reached out to his reps back in the day and said, hey, how much is it for this piece? And they wrote back and said $1,000. And I said, ooh, that's more money than I can spend at this given point in my life for a sketch. Up until that point, I don't think I'd ever bought a sketch, period. So I passed and had since forgotten about it. Didn't want to dive into a Neal Adams sketch. And frankly, we all thought we had more time with Neal. He passed too soon, unfortunately. So what happened was, I couldn't find the sketch I wanted for him when I would look online. And of course, when he passed, everything dried up, everything got purchased, and lo and behold, my eBay search popped up a Neal Adams sketch that is this one. It is a graded book. It's graded 9.8. And if you remember the sketch I just showed you of Cyclops, you'll see why I purchased this book. Look at that. Very, very similar to that Cyclops sketch. It's in an old slab. This has been, when was this created? He drew this in 2011. This perspective of Psych and just the way he composed this piece is exactly what I was looking for. I paid $600 for this book. So not the $1,000 that he was asking for that pastel colored sketch. Very similar drawing. So I think probably the reason why a lot of people didn't buy this on or bid on it, and I think I was the only bidder, was because the case is cracked. So I asked how severe the crack was, and they said it wasn't so bad that the slab could come out of it. So there is cracking. It's not going to show so well on the video. There's cracking here, basically just right here. And because of that crack, this opens a little. So there's a little bit of opening. I don't think you could reasonably pull this apart with, you could pull this apart, but you would see that it had been pulled apart here. It has not been. So what I would love your help on today, people, comic book community, please give me your feedback. I'm tempted to keep it as is, but I'm also just tempted to send this into CGC and get it reholdered. Get a new slab. The inner well is intact. Obviously, there's always a chance for someone to tamper with this. And I guess you could tamper with the label. Am I going to get a green label back from CGC? Are they going to want to regrade this? Is this crack detrimental? I just don't know. It hasn't disrupted this label, but that could be faked, I'm sure. I'm pretty confident this is a valid sketch. So I'm not too worried about that. I just don't want a green label. I want the yellow authentic label, not random art on a cover. So this is my Neil Adams book. I'm super excited to have it. I would love to hear what you have to say about the cracking and the resubmitting. Because the other option I would have would be to go to CBCS, have them verify independently, pay a little extra money, and have them regrade it and slab it. So those are my choices. Let me know what you think. Let's see the next book that I picked up. This next book I picked up off of a Whatnot sale. It was a live sale on the Whatnot app, and hey, I just got verified to be a Whatnot seller. So Lombok's Love Affair, if you want to see my early Whatnot sales whenever I do those, I'll probably start those sometime in the early summer. So but completely unrelated is this slab. So Ryan Otley was at MegaCon in May, and Comic Sketch Art was facilitating the sale of several of his different sketches that he had already done. I love pre-drawn sketches by artists, and the reason being is that they have so much detail. When you go to a con and you give your blank cover or your sketch pad to an artist and ask them to commission something, or you commission them to do something, they have to create that in a couple days. They're going to do that at the table. They're going to be interrupted. They're also maybe bringing it back to their hotel room, so it's infringing on their own personal time. And it's not going to be a completely polished piece. What Ryan Otley had that Comic Sketch Art was auctioning on Whatnot were very refined pieces, great detail, and even some color sketches. So there were some great deals to be had, and some crazy stuff he had too. So I picked up this X-Men #1. Wolverine. Look at that. Weapon X, really. So I don't have a sketch featuring Wolverine like this. So we got him all bloodied up. Look at that shading. That his attention to detail in this is really amazing. It looks like a mass-produced piece that he just did a little touch-up on. No, not the case. Blank cover. He did this from scratch. So it was fate to get this. I saw this on Ryan Otley's Instagram page, and I said, I love that piece. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to find that piece online. He's probably going to sell it at a con. I'm not going to be at that con. So I screenshotted this and made it my iPhone home screen. So this has been my home screen for a while now. And so when Ryan said that he was going to be putting this on Whatnot, I was like, let me save the time, the date, let me try this out. And I don't think he did a couple streams. I don't think he got to this particular one until the second one. So I had to watch 2 streams to get him to showcase this book. A lot of great stuff. He did a Fing Fang Foom, eating Mr. Fantastic. He did an amalgam character. He did an Invincible sketch cover. I think this is amazing. So I'm a big fan of his artwork. Like you may have seen from my videos, I'm a big fan of Invincible, big fan of his Spider-Man run. So this sketch is, I love it. I love it. I love it. I think it's amazing. So you got 2 greats. We got contemporary Ryan Otley, and you got the historic Neil Adams. May he rest in peace. So I'd love to hear what you have to think about this one, but I was so happy to have a chance to own this picture of Cyclops when I knew that I had missed out. So perfect example of right place, right time, and no other bidders. So just got to figure out what to do with this slab. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to the comments. So if you're new to my channel, hit that thumbs up, subscribe down below, come along for the ride. Unboxings galore, comic book hauls, all of that fun stuff. So all that's right on the screen behind me. So take care, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye-bye.